everybody know what a SWOT analysis is? Yes? Nods? Some no nods? Okay, for those who no nods, a SWOT analysis essentially is strengths. Okay, so I want you to spend a few moments now thinking through those about your international business expansion plan, right? So if you're going to think through it, what are some of the strengths about your positioning? So if you are honey making and you are going into a particular region, for example, what are some of your strengths in that regard? If you are financial advisory and you are looking to enter into a particular market, what are your strengths? Is it your knowledge? Is it your partnerships? Is it your expertise? Is it your positioning? Is it your client base? Is it the fact that you are licensed and other people are not? Is it what is it exactly? So I want you to think through it. And whilst you do that, just as you're writing, I will talk, just so we could, compress time and multitask a little bit. So when it comes to country intel, one of the things that I did when it came to me launching my business, I wasn't on the ground all the time, so I paid somebody to do that work for me. So when it comes to whether it's registration, accounting, whatever it may be, is speaking to people in that particular market, right? If you can't be there yourself, paying somebody who is to do that groundwork for you, right? Know who your competitors are there in that market as well. If you are expanding into a physical presence, if you're a business that's looking for physical presence, who are the competitors in that market? Or if you're a business that's operating globally anyway, e-commerce business, you're looking for maybe international clientele, who is also trying to attract those same clientele as well? You want to think about that, right? You want to also plan for the worst too. One of the things when I was raising investment, and I went to the investor and I laid down and did some scenario planning. He said to me, he also wants to see a scenario of when I fail, which effectively I did. But that was one of the things that he asked me. So you need to also plan to fail and then try and figure out how to avoid those scenarios, right? One of the most important things is about that customer acquisition. How can you make sure that that customer becomes a repeat customer? How can you make sure that customer is referring other customers? One of the biggest sources of customers is also referrals, right? How can you minimize your acquisition costs with that customer, especially when you're not in market? Are you using online ads? Are you targeting in the right way? These are also crosses over. I wish we had more time because we'll go into this in so much more details. But just thinking about that country, what are the behaviors in market? Do those individuals like honey, if you're going to start a honey business? Do they even eat honey? What are the weather conditions? Will the honey be still preserved in those conditions or not, for example? If you're doing financial advisory, what are the kind of, are they middle income? Are they low income? Are they high income? Are you going to be able to attract them? How are you going to attract them, right? So just thinking through that customer intel a little bit more. So I hope you've all done your SWOT so far. For those of you that don't know how to use a SWOT, this is something that you can just map out on in your phone or on paper, and just think through, what are some of your biggest wins? What are some of the things that are your strengths? Your weaknesses. If you're going into that market, right, what are some of the weaknesses? What are you scared about? What are you having imposter syndrome about right now? What is scaring you about going into that market? What are the unknowns? And then what are the opportunities? What are some of the things that you're thinking, oh wow, I can actually tap into that. There's a honey making community that I can tap into in that local place, right? There is individuals that potentially are restaurants that you can tap into or whatever it may be. What are some of the threats? Are there people coming into the market? Is AI going to challenge some of the things that you do? Is the regulatory landscape going to challenge some of the things that you do? So just thinking through some of those. Can somebody shout out some of their strengths for their market, what they're doing, just so we could do this together? Anybody want to go through their SWOT briefly before I pick on somebody?
I'll go on then.
Please go ahead.
Because I kind of align
Sure.
with her. So, sorry. I know the fan over here is quite loud. My name is Josie, and I am in the infancy of starting a business called the Expat Edit, which is helping North Americans come over, settle in well, live.
Do you know each other?
Nope. We will.
Junior, I think we need 10% of everything going on here, okay?
But yeah, live well and then help once they eventually want to extricate themselves. So I would say my strengths are personal experience.
Yes.
moved over here in 2002, so
Okay.
I've been there, done that. I've got quite a good network, obviously, within the community and within corporate HRDs and CPOs, chief people officers. Yeah, so that's me.
So you work business to business with those, or individuals as well?
I've worked with individuals.
Okay.
Because I think it's, I suppose, people needing advice.
Yeah.
My kid's going into reception, what do I do?
Yeah.
I need a driver's license, what do I do?
Yes.
So it could get as narrow as that, but then also looking big picture and working with companies that are looking to bring over
Absolutely.
Americans and then helping them once the container arrives.
Yeah.
And they're here, and then I can kind of pick up from there.
That's the big ticket one at that point, right, with the corporates.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so what are some of the opportunities and threats you're thinking about?
So opportunities around, again, the big expat packages, and I've worked for 20 years in executive recruitment, so I was working with all of these, people in HR that put these packages together. And then just around, I suppose, that personal touch. So being that high personal touch sort of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Access.
Have you considered, given your business, have you got a team? Are you
I've
doing this?
registered a domain name.
Okay. Congratulations. First step, right? But sometimes some of the things that we don't think about is that we can also be a threat to ourselves, especially when you're doing your solopreneur. So one of the moments that you get to a point where you have all those clientele, you've got those clients, and then you become the bottleneck in the business as well. So also thinking through what some of those potential ways that you can alleviate those bottlenecks could be as well. But yeah, I think great business and a huge market potential as well. Amazing. Okay, so please do think through that. Because we've got, again, interest of time, we've got 2 more to go through. Connections, right? So when it comes to connections and thinking through partnerships and how you're going to build your business, everybody in this room potentially could be somebody's affiliate or partner or connector. I think we've seen that already, right? One of the things that I did, so I'm a realtor, content creator, developer, brand partner, whatever it may be. Whatever you want me to be in Ghana, I am that person. The other day, for example, so the reason why I say this is because, sorry, your name again?
Sorry, Josie.
Josie. One of the things, when you build credibility, I'm going to tell you this, funny story this. When you build credibility, people will come to you for anything. I start to now just put a price on things now. Even if I don't do that thing, I'm putting a price on it. So the other day, I remember I put up a video about how I started up an Uber fleet business in Ghana in 2018 when Uber just first entered into the Ghana market. And the way that Uber works in Ghana is that there are car owners, right? So you and I could be a car owner, and then you find a driver, and the driver will drive on your behalf and then send you the money every single week, right? So that's what I was doing. I was doing, operating as an Uber fleet partner. And I shared my story on social media. And I received a phone call the other day from a doctor in North America. And he said, oh, I need help trying to find Uber drivers. I said, look, I've got a service for that. I don't even do that. But I was like, I will find you Uber drivers in Ghana. And I did it, right? And so you can just basically, the fact that you've built credibility and you've built knowledge on the ground, you can price up your service and use that potentially to build business. No doubt, then you're now thinking about connections. You're thinking about who else does he need? The moment that he has an Uber driver or Uber car, he's going to need insurance. So I now have partnerships with insurance companies, right? And I've already negotiated with those insurance companies. So the moment that I give them a referral, I'm taking 20% of every single transaction there, right? So so when you think about affiliates, you're thinking about not just that business, but who are the adjacent industries that you can also connect to. So the reason why I'm connected to insurance companies is because I'm in the real estate space. And so those real estate people that are buying properties, they're going to need insurance to insure their properties, especially when they're not around. So I've already built brand partnerships with insurance companies, right, I'm on retainer for. So because of that affiliations, I went to one of the guys and I said, oh, if I get you somebody who needs car insurance, can I also get a deal? He's like, yeah, why not? So my Uber doctor, he now has got insurance and I'm now taking a cut. right? So you just want to think about, when it comes to connections, who are the affiliates in that market that you can also build your business around and position yourself. Does that make sense? I know it's a very nuanced example, but I hope it just gives you some idea in your mind for your adjacent industry, right? Think about value. What value can you bring? So like I said, I can bring value because I've got the expertise on the ground. So you've got expertise in North America. What is it that somebody needs that you can lean into, right? Network, be in this room, be into other rooms that you can find people that can either be your customer or your affiliate or your business partner, right? Okay. You could do this at home if you wanted to, or because of time, but think through who are those 3 people in the market that you're looking to go into, and find what credibility you can borrow. By credibility borrowing, this is what I mean. I don't know if I've made up this terminology, but this is what I mean. When I first entered into Ghana as a realtor, estate agent as we refer to it here, I didn't want the other people on the ground who are bigger than me to think that I was coming to compete with them. So what did I do? I went to them and said, can I interview you for my YouTube channel? And so them now coming onto my platform, and I'm now speaking to them and asking them questions, I'm borrowing their credibility, because they have far more credibility than me. And now when people see them on my platform, then I'm like, oh yeah, she knows her stuff. I really didn't. But like, I was borrowing credibility from those people. Please don't film this or record this, because I don't want them to know that I've stolen their credibility. I didn't say stolen, I said borrows, by the way. But the reality is, right, who are the affiliates? Who are those in adjacent markets that you can lean into and partner with to work together? That's super important as well. I think we build a partnership here potentially. You never know, right? So think through that and then think about how you're going to get them to say yes. My last point, credibility and brand. I built more of a brand before I then got my offering out there. I'm so fixated on brand. Why? Because once somebody's bought into your brand, whatever it is you sell, they will buy. Hence the Uber example. Because that person trusted the fact that, oh, I know my stuff on the ground, I was able to take some money from him, right? So build that credibility, build that brand. I love brand building. I work with brands all the time. I work with brands. I work with people that like to position themselves all the time, and think about how you could just, what do you want people to think about you? From the way you dress, from the way you present yourself, from the way you speak, from the way you position yourselves online, right? From the way you have your website. What are your brand colors? What motion do they convey? So thinking through all of this, and then building that credibility either through consistency or showing up, whether at these events, whether offering your services, whether volunteering to go and speak somewhere, filming that, putting it out there, is you building your credibility. Whether you are doing a condiment business, you want to find influencers to taste your product, to give you that virality, and for them to actually just say, yeah, no, this tastes great. You want to be able to build and find that credibility, whatever it is you do. One big tip is, if you're going internationally as well, make sure you get testimonials in market. So if you've got customers who are not here in the UK, make sure we hear those accents. Make sure we hear people who are international, who have bought your product and have purchased it. Get them on video. Get them to give you a testimonial so you can actually build that brand credibility, social proof, and evidence that there are people outside of your immediate network that have your product or your service. Does that make sense? Okay. So there are going to be some things, again, I can share these slides maybe after because of time, but really I want you to think about one thing. When people think about your business, what should they think? Okay? That's just something for you to think about. So, guys, that's the end of my presentation, but just to wrap up, the 5 C's are effectively customer, cost and compliance, your customer intel. So what is it the country intel, what is it that you know about that country that you're entering into? Or if it's the reverse way round, if you're looking for customers abroad to buy your product or your offering, what is it you know about their behaviors? What connections and partners are you building? And how are you building your credibility and your brand, right? A couple of questions there to ask yourselves. I'll share these slides so that Junior could help you to, or you can take a picture and you can think about this for yourself to build your roadmap. But we started on our feet. I want you back on your feet again as we end. I start as I mean to go on. Guys, I want you to repeat after me the words that you see on the screen. Let's hear it. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go, glow. That was poor. That was very, very poor. We're going to do it again, okay? 1, 2, 3. Let's go global! Guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for everything. And I hope that gave you some things to think about. Thank you.